Look at you guys.
Look at us.
All right. So, I mean, first of all, I have to start by saying this. When I moved to Nashville 5 years ago, guys, I got to give you guys my respects because you guys were kind of like the first band that I thought was, arena rocking, but like good people, good values, kind. And that was like what everyone still says about you all. And that was kind of like what pushed me to Nashville. So on a human level, I do have to say thank you.
I appreciate it.
Because,
Thank you.
because you guys kind of are pioneers in that, in just being good people and rocking and rolling. So,
Thanks, man. Yeah, of course.
and speaking of that, I mean, you just played Red Rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, after such a storied career, do stuff like that still gives you the goosebumps? Like you guys have played every corner of the world, every big venue. Does stuff like that still give?
It does. I think for different reasons maybe now, like it's cool we can bring our families out and, like it really appreciate what it is.
Yeah.
And also like we're having fun playing shows and there's no better place in the world to play one. It's I think the anticipation that people bring to a show like that, like we just know we don't have to be that good. We just be present. And I think that's like something we look forward to. We've done it 6 times maybe now. So, but it still feels like, I mean, we all have it penciled on the calendar. It's like a big deal. So very thankful that, it's been happening and hopefully we'll get to play it 10 more times.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you said be present. I consider you guys one of like the best live bands of the past 20 years. I mean, I put you guys with U2, the Stones, like that. Is that the trick, being present? Because just like seeing you guys live, there's some magic in the room. Is that what it is? Is it being present? What's the trick?
I think that we know that the live thing is sacred. It's one thing we can control. And I think over the years, like it's something that we put a lot of work into, obviously. But then it is, I mean, we went and saw, you said the Stones, like we went and saw the Stones a couple of weeks ago. And we're blown away by that, like the presence. Maybe not, but maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll take some lessons. Yeah. No, I thought it was just incredible. Like it's not about the perfection. It's not about playing the right notes. I mean, you can practice what you want, but like it is about being in the moment. And I think the best bands in the world, YouTube, Stones, all those people, like they make the audience feel like that night is a special. It's the only time it's going to happen. And I think that's hard to do when you're playing 5 nights a week. You know what I mean? And I think the trick is kind of really like to rev that thing up before, and have that appreciation. And I think we're probably in a more thankful place than we've ever been. And there's a huge part, we talk about that a lot about the shows, like the gratitude is a big part of bringing you to getting the best out of yourself. Understanding like, man, this is the one that people spend a lot of money for these tickets. They come a long way. Like I feel like we have a real respect for that. And we've always said it's like, we're playing as if there's our 16-year-old selves are in the audience. You know what I mean? And we're trying to inspire that kid to be like, man, go do whatever it is you want to do in life. But if it's music, like maybe this is the moment that starts it, or, so I think we just care a lot, to be honest with you. And there's an element that like this band is really good, like, and I'm not saying that in some sort of arrogant way. Like the band is good at what we do, but I think there's an element that like goes beyond it where you're like, you can be vulnerable to the audience and appreciative, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think you mentioned something really great, and that's gratitude. And just like scouring like the message boards, like all the hardcore fans that you guys have from every corner of the world, there seems to be a sense of that, both like connection or gratitude. And you hit the nail on the head. Like when you're fearful and when you're in pain, but you're grateful, it disappears.
Right.
Because when you trade the expectations for appreciation, everything changes. So you that's I think that's a big part.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's I tell people we're older now too. Like we understand the sort of walking into a conversation. If you're vulnerable, it diffuses every conversation. So I think there's like a balance or a dance we're always doing between like, we know how to do this. We need to come out here with tons of swag and like energy and that kind of thing. But also an awareness of like, man, you're not guaranteed the next one. And, we're not big enough to where it's like, we can just sell out every arena and not care. Which I think I appreciate. Like that's such a long grind at like, we're probably one of the only bands where it's like, we've been slightly bigger than the day before for 20 years. And it's like very, you know what I mean? But I think we appreciate that part of it. Of like, man, these people, they really care. And our songs, like we say this all the time, like people live their life to them, and so we think of the audience a lot in like a co-author kind of way. Like the songs are only as good as they are until people take them to mean what they want them to mean and live their life to them. And so it is sweet. It's really cool. Like, I think we had some really heavy stories happen on this tour where people were coming out. Like, we had a guy in the middle of the tour, like, and this is never this kind of thing. Like, I feel like we're like opening the window, allowing for us to find out about stuff like this. But a guy had a brain tumor, and his wife came up to us, him and his wife, and they were like, "This might be the last show he's seen you 70 times, and this might be the last show." It's like, and you see them in the front row, and the family's together, and they're weeping while you're. It's like that. That's impossible not to feel. You know what I mean? That like, man, how do we? It's humbling. It's just like, how do we play a role in this thing? How do we mean so much to somebody? It's more than the music, and we're definitely appreciative of that.
That's beautiful. You guys have a busy day, so I appreciate the time. Just a couple more questions. Your latest music, like your songwriting, almost better than at any point in your career. I mean, I dug in there, and I was just like, how is this possible? After so many records, that like you're connecting like to your own writing and your own feelings better than ever. Like, what keeps that hunger to write that better song? Because quite frankly, guys, you guys could at this point just kind of like tour a greatest hits album like once a year every summer and fill amphitheaters all over the country, get paid well, go be with your families, but you still have that hunger like that. How do you do that?
I think it's a challenge in a way because, like, records don't mean what they used to mean. It's just, I think people consume records differently and streaming and all. It's like, without getting into all that, it definitely feels like there was a time when a record came out early in our career, it was like, it's everything. Everybody's talking about that one record, and now it's like, that's almost impossible to have, and so there's a challenge of that, saying that, like, I see bands in two ways. It's like, they're either looking forward or looking backwards. And I think for us, like, we're waking up every day, at least for me, and I know for guys, like, it feels like we feel like our best record's in front of us. So there's this like thing that we're like, you can't quite see, you're chasing. And I think that we have that still. But the minute we put a record out, we're thinking about what the next one's going to be. So that's still, when that turns not exciting, that'll be a different phase of our career, but that has not happened yet. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are sounding better than ever. So
Thanks, man.
Guys, I'll let you guys go because you guys have a kick-ass show tonight. You're going to flamethrower all over the ascent.
I love that. Couldn't say it better. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.